You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts.
All right, Black and White Sports supporters. Well, my goodness. In the WNBA, it's safe to say these players are very good at being activists, but they weren't very good in Economics 101 or Business 101 because it seems they don't understand the value of themselves as players, and they don't understand the connection the league has to the NBA. Now, keep in mind, regardless of all of the new viewers, and by gate, I mean revenue, how much people were willing to pay to get into games, which was a lot more in some cases if Caitlin Clark was involved. The Indiana Fever's attendance going up by nearly 12,000 a game, sold out arenas, and a new media deal. By the way, that new media deal, it's going to end up being $260 million, but it's still part of the NBA package. Okay, even with all of that, the league is not going to turn a profit this year. All right, again. Now, the new media rights deal is not kicked in yet, and when it does, that's probably the opportunity for this league to be profitable. Now, will the players' salaries go up? Yeah, I would imagine they will at least double and maybe triple. But there is a lot of rumors that players want upwards of 5 times what they're making right now. And that would mean that somebody like A'ja Wilson would be making $1 million a year. And that's just not going to happen. The economics of the situation doesn't work out. And what may end up happening here is a disaster for the league because the greed of some of these players overthinking their value could end up heading towards, you see that right there, a lockout. A notable sports business insider recently explained why Caitlin Clark and her WNBA contemporaries are likely headed to a lockout this offseason. The 2024 season for the WNBA was its best by far when it comes to financials of the game. The league has made some good progress over the last decade. However, this year's draft class, led by Caitlin Clark, was a revelation for the league. The popularity of Clark during her final 2 seasons in college was a boon for the amateur ranks, and she carried the momentum to the pro level as WNBA garnered record-setting ticket and merchandise sales as well as the best television ratings in history. It only helped that the rookie had a strong first season and led the Indiana Fever to the postseason. The impressive numbers came at a perfect time for players, as the current collective bargaining agreement expires after this season. Over the past few months, various reports have suggested that the league will make the concessions necessary to avoid a prolonged negotiation process. However, on Monday, sports business expert Joe Pompliano explained why an ugly lockout is likely as players are looking for higher wages. Quote, I feel like we are quickly headed to a scenario where there's going to be a lockout in the WNBA. Pompliano began by saying, I think players just have a much higher perception around their dollar value worth than the actual league is worth. Exactly right. I mean, they think they ought to be making all this money, and the economics of the league doesn't allow it. It's math. It's called math. If you look at the WNBA, attendance, viewership, merchandise sales, everything is up. They're making a lot more money, TV rights, everything. But most don't understand the dynamics of the NBA owning a large chunk of business. The owners own a large chunk of the revenue stream. Aliyah Boston says she wants commas in her paycheck. $1 million plus $1 million essentially. I don't see that. There's no way. There is no way Aliyah Boston's getting $1 million. I just don't see it. She may make $1 million if she goes and plays overseas and you put in endorsements, but no, she's not going to make an actual $1 million from a WNBA salary. I don't think she could make that in five more years. You know, as the league continues to see more and more money, Look, I believe she's probably making around the rookie salary, which is like 76, 77,000 a year. Could I see these players, like, for example, Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark, Aliyah Boston, these ones on these rookie deals making 250,000 a year? Yeah, I could see that. And that would literally be almost 4 times the amount of revenue or amount of salary that they've been making. But no, they're not jumping up to $1,000,000. And that's not happening anytime soon. There you go. In the WNBA, he's saying it's not happening. A'ja Wilson makes 200,000 a year. We're going to get to a point where that sets in as a reality. And I think the players are going to have a really hard time dealing with that because they're going to go on the road and they're going to be seeing sold out arenas. The economics of the league just don't give that opportunity to them. It is frustrating to see the growth of the league, but no big changes in athlete pay. The big question will be Caitlin Clark and the other WNBA players understanding the finances of the situation, or do they feel they need to stand their ground for themselves and future players? Well, they can stand their ground, but they're liable to put the league out of business if they do, because at the end of the day, the league as it stands today and probably next year is still a liability for the NBA and the owners in the NBA that own the team. All right, yeah, there's probably a few owners that are doing pretty well from the WNBA. Las Vegas, Mark Davis, Indiana Fever owner, who owns the Pacers. Yeah, he's probably doing great. Seattle Storm owner, probably doing pretty good because they're selling out. But some of these places, like Atlanta, where they're drawing 3,500 fans and claiming it's a sellout because they're playing in a 3,500 seat arena, they're not making any money, seriously at all. And look, they can go out there and they can tout these big ratings all they want. And yeah, the WNBA ratings are up. But the fact is, they're still not pulling great ratings, not anywhere close to what it pulls if Caitlin Clark's involved. Yeah, if you can get Caitlin Clark all the way to the WNBA finals every year, the league's going to make a lot of money. It is. But even at that, okay, the new media rights deal, and most of it comes from television money, all right, in every sport. The new media rights deal is going to go from $60 million to roughly $260. Well, what is that? That's a 4 times bump. Even at that, let's say the salaries go up 4 times. Yeah, for these rookies, that's still going to be like $300,000. Maybe not that much, 240,000. Something, I could see them going to say 200,000 when they come in the league. A'ja Wilson getting $1 million, Aliyah Boston getting $1 million. That's not going to happen. The math and the money's not there. Maybe they can play in a different league. Maybe they can create a different league. Still going to have overhead. I mean, we still don't know if the UFL is going to end up staying in business beyond, say, next year. It's the same kind of thing for the WNBA. The media rights deal isn't there yet for the UFL, and attendance and all that is still poor. I mean, they're just now getting a bump. These players, their greed, because we've known for a while these players think they ought to be making like $2, $3, $4, $5 million a year. Some of them think they ought to be making what the NBA players are making. And it's like, you really didn't attend economics, did you? You supposedly went to college. Supposedly. But it doesn't seem like it because you don't understand the math of the league. And that's all it is. It's the math of the league and how it works out and how the revenue stream is distributed to owners. It is what it is. Are their salaries going to go up? Yes, eventually, from the media rights deal. I can't see that they won't. Are they going to go up, to the point that most, 3 players on every team's making $1 million a year? Nah, you can forget about that. Maybe in 15 years, but not now. And some of these players will be long gone by then. Yeah, the days of them having to go to Russia and these other places overseas, if they want to make $1 million or $1.5 million a year, the days of that are not over, and they're not going to be. for a very long time, if they ever are over. Because the fact is, when the WNBA gets around to paying $1 million a year to a player, Russia's probably going to pay $3 or $4 million. You know, it's again economics, business 101. Tell me what you think. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.